Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I wanted to talk to you about if video games can relieve stress. The gameplay you're seeing right now is me using a shotgun with no attachments, very perk heavy, though I do keep a grenade and a stun, playing on good old-fashioned compound, and my goal is to play as hard, as aggressive, and as angry as humanly possible, because I had some family issues today. For those of you that have been watching my channel for a long time, you know I have some pretty crazy family issues. But I'm fairly confident that one of my family members faked dying, as in faked being on their deathbed in order to get more attention. And regardless of other circumstances, faking your death or faking serious illnesses for attention is something that should not be done, period. So I'm livid right now. I'm still angry doing this commentary. I was extraordinarily both angry and stressed doing this game because I thought they were dying and I was worried about it, and then I found out it was fake, and now I'm angry and the worry is still there, and I'm all different kinds of worked up. So in this gameplay, my goal is to crap on the other team. I am playing the most amped, the most angry, the most butthurt, punishing gameplay that I've played in a super long time, and my goal here is to make their lives miserable. It actually was a whole clan that I played against, and in the previous game they crapped on me, so I really turned it around, made the whole clan rage quit here. But I'm 100% venting, and I'm taking out my frustrations on others, which in any other scenario would be unhealthy, but in the video game world, it's considered 100% acceptable. I also have a small confession for you. You know I play League of Legends. Sometimes, on my darkest of days, when I get very, very angry, I'll play Teemo. And I'll play Teemo top, and I'll build him tank mode, and I'll throw people on tilt like nobody's business. But let's talk about video games relieving stress for now. There is real viability to relieving stress via video games. Of course, there's tons of anecdotal evidence. It works fine for me, it works good for other people. You can read stories about it online, but this channel isn't so much about anecdotal evidence, though a ton of it is important. We try to stick to more factual things here. I also know that veterans, war veterans suffering from PTSD, love playing violent video games because it kind of helps them work through the PTSD, relive these stressful situations, and kind of blow off some of their steam, so people use it that way too. And if you'll note, if you'll look at a chart of violent crime in the United States, or even violent crime all over the world, you'll notice that the chart goes down. Like, overall violent crime is decreasing. The fact that the world is getting worse, more violent, more dangerous, yada yada yada, is actually just sort of it's called the harsh world fallacy, which you'll learn about if you take like media ethics class or anything like that. Media sells hype, they sell fear, and the more dangerous, the more scary things are, the more it sells. But reality is that violent crime in the United States is way down, with the exception of a few countries that are unstable. It's almost universally down in first world countries. Deaths from war, deaths from disease, famine, all this kind of stuff is way down. And at the same time, a lot of this started going down was when video games came around. As a matter of fact, video games are kind of casually correlated, now correlation is not causation, to the decrease in violent crime. Again, maybe it didn't cause it. If you read Freakonomics, which is a very interesting book, it may have actually had something to do with abortion rates or the war on drugs and a lot of other different things, increasing resources, efficiency, growth in wealth, less poor people fighting and things like that. So there's a lot of different reasons, but overall video games are on the rise and violent crime is on the way down. It can also be similar, or this is how I would best explain it. Now this is a real, true, proven thing, is that countries that have very restrictive laws on pornography, and that also happens to have restrictive laws on dating, those tend to go hand in hand, usually have the worst cases of sexual violence, both the most frequent and the most violent amount of sexual violence. Like, the less pornography you have access to, the more likely your country is going to be involved in large amounts of sexual violence. Whereas, we'll say, more liberal countries that have very unrestricted laws about pornography, paradoxically, actually have less sexual violence, which is, you know, thinking crazy because a lot of people tell you about how porn desensitizes you, and it encourages you to think less of women, to think of them as a sex object or disposable, or even some of the weird, nasty BDM kind of stuff. And yeah, all those things are true, but the one thing they're forgetting about is that when people can sort of relieve their natural urges with adult films, they're a lot less likely to be frustrated, violent, worked up, and commit crimes or anything like that of a sexual nature. So I think that video games play a very similar role in allowing people to vent. However, There have been many studies that show on a personal level, not a macro level, that this is not true, that playing video games can kind of rile you up or amp you up, so to speak, because most video games require you to be focused, and a lot of them are fast, and a lot of them are inherently very violent and, you know, kill or be killed kind of thing, and it kind of increases your levels of agitation and twitchiness, and it jacks your adrenaline levels up really high. The best example that I can make of this would be Five Nights at Freddy's. If you've played Five Nights at Freddy's, you know that the game isn't actually inherently that scary. It's all about balancing doors, opening and closing, but you have to micromanage it really fast. You're always flipping the camera around, you're always opening and closing the doors really, really fast, and the goal is just to do that, and you have to do it so fast and focus on it so hard, you get so worked up about dying and losing the game that by the time the monsters do show up, oftentimes people scream, they panic, they flip out, and video gaming has been shown to basically do that for a wide variety of games. It gets people really focused, really working hard, really just kind of amped up, and it makes them more prone to instantaneous acts of violence. It kind of irritates them, and also makes them feel more violent because they are kind of acting out violence on others. Now, does this relieve stress? Yes. Does it increase violence? Kind of. Now, personally, this is where I'm going off the literature here, is that when games go poorly, that's what makes me pissed off. When I'm sad, when I'm stressed out, when I'm feeling poorly, and I want to play some video games to relieve stress, if the games go well, like this game right here is going very well for me, if I'm winning a lot, if I'm feeling like that the game is fair and I feel accomplished and all that, it actually works. It helps me relieve stress. It helps me blow off some steam to put that sort of agitation and frustration to use doing almost anything else. However, gaming angry can sometimes be very counterintuitive for me, because when I lose, and especially when I lose because I feel that I've been cheated, that somebody's using an OP gun, an unfair champion, that David Bonderhar is making the game lag for me or whatever, I get way, way more angry, and it just ramps my stress levels up through the roof. And what really probably drives me more crazy than anything is if I'm having an absolute crap day and I get on to play some relaxing video games, and some 9-year-old little fatherless gobshite on the other team starts trash talking me, it makes me super angry. I'm not a perfect person. A lot of you like to think of me as the calm, intellectual guy. You know, everybody has mistakes. A number of objects around my house have been broken that probably shouldn't have been. Scuff controllers, Astro headsets, monitors, punching holes in walls, screaming. My wife very much so doesn't like it because it's very childlike behavior, but it does happen. Now, at the end of the video, we're kind of getting back onto the point, does gaming relieve stress? And the answer is yes. Yes, it can. If you play the types of games that you enjoy, if you play them well, if things go well, gaming can actually be an excellent stress reliever. But even though it's a good stress reliever, I'm going to say it's an overall poor method because it's kind of a gambler's method. You're kind of taking the gamble that you have the spare time, that you're going to be left alone, that nobody's going to agitate you in the middle of the game and while you're working through this stress, and that your games are going to go well. There's a lot more things that can go wrong when you use gaming to relieve stress than can honestly go right, but this is all up to you. If you want to gamble with your mental state, if you feel that you can definitely win, that you can, you know, grind a few games out and pop some people and start feeling better, that's fine, but you have to realize you can also make yourself a lot worse, and you might just have to take the day off and just calm down doing something else if you want, or just because kind of I want to. I was really happy with my gameplay here. I'm going to go ahead and show the other about 2 minutes of it so you can see how it pans out, my final score and all of that. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.
Kill. Not one yet. Good sight. Fire breakdown.
Seraph down. Powered up. Attack armor, where's Hellstorm?
CDP, all objectives secured. Great job.
This is the future of